Planet Dolan.
Hello everyone, my name is Captain Courageous. I am probably one of the most unluckiest people in the world when it comes to travelling on a train. Basically, in the town where I live, there are no places to hang out. So, most of the time I would just hop on the train and head into the local city to meet up with my friends. And boy did I have the worst experiences every time I used to ride that train. Most of the time it would be me on the train travelling by myself, because my friends already live in the city. Like any normal person, I would just stick my headphones in and let the time pass. Unfortunately, it's not that easy for me. I'm a kind and friendly guy, which makes me an easy target for things like this. One time when I was waiting at the train station for my train to arrive, I spotted a large drunk man coming up the stairs to the platform. His right hand was covered in blood, and it looked like there were bits of glass in it too, so I presumed he was in some kind of fight. He didn't look like a bad person, but he was clearly out of his mind with all the alcohol he had taken. He sat down in the waiting room beside me, making me feel pretty uncomfortable. He then looked at me, and in his tired, worn down voice said, "Hi, my name is, John. What's your name?" He held out his bloody hand for me to shake. I did not want to offend him, so I purposely used my left hand to shake his, meaning that he would also have to use his left hand too. I then came up with a fake name in my head as quick as I could and replied saying, my name is Jack? He gave me a drunken smile and then said, "Nice to meet you, Jack? My name is... I calmly explained to him that he had told me his name already and that there was no need to repeat it. Since he was so drunk, he was basically harmless and was not a threat to me, so I did not worry too much. He then pulled a full bottle of vodka out of his duffel bag and offered some to me. I quickly replied, no thank you, I'm good." After drinking some of the vodka, he put it back in his bag. He then got up and started dancing and singing terribly in the middle of the waiting room. He then proceeded to take off his shirt and started to take off his pants. Thankfully, my train then arrived and I got on it. Luckily, he was going in the opposite direction on another train and I never saw him again. Another time, when I was with my friend, we waited at the train station for our train to arrive, and when it did, we boarded it. We sat down and the train started moving. I then decided that I wanted to go to the bathroom. I got up and started walking towards the bathroom when suddenly the train slammed on the brakes without any kind of warning. I fell forward, dropping and breaking my phone. It turned out that someone had reported that a person was walking along the active railway that we were on. So we ended up spending about 4 hours on this train in the middle of nowhere. It was a really hot day, and to add to it, the AC wasn't working at all. We were unable to turn back because another train was stuck behind us too. Eventually, the police caught the man and the train was able to move again. We then passed a police car that was parked on the side of the tracks. It was the cop who arrested the guy who was walking on the train line. Everybody on the train then shouted and cheered when they saw him being thrown into the back of the police car. It looked like that he was really drunk, so he probably didn't realise what he was doing. Poor guy. Now this last time was definitely my worst experience. I was by myself on the train and I was about halfway between where I boarded and the destination. After stopping at one of the stations along the way, a tall, skinny man in a ragged suit boarded the train. He then entered the carriage that I was in. There were tons of empty seats around the carriage, but he chose to sit down in the seat that was directly facing me. Being the friendly person I am, I gave him a smile and then proceeded to watch some videos on my laptop. Once the train started moving again, the man went to reach something out of his bag. At the time, I thought nothing of it. He pulled out a bag of white powder and a playing card and started doing a line of cocaine right there in front of me being only 14 at the time. He looked up at me with a creepy stare, one of his pupils bigger than the other, and said, "Wanna try some of this, man?" Knowing exactly what he was doing, I replied, no thanks. I looked around the carriage to see if anyone else was looking at what he was doing, but no one seemed to care. I then began to feel really uncomfortable. I tried to avoid eye contact with him and focused on the video I was watching. Then, suddenly, the man sneezed loudly and the cocaine went everywhere. It was all over me, my bag, my snacks, and all over my laptop too. It was only then that people realised what he was doing. After that, I got up and went to the bathroom. Luckily, I had a spare change of clothes to change into. I decided not to come out of there until the train came to the station I was getting off at. As I left the train, I saw 2 police officers tackle him and put him in handcuffs. Looking back at it now, this had to have been my worst travelling experience ever, and is definitely one of the reasons I don't take the train anymore.